And we're back here at UMG South Carolina. Just had a quick controller issue, got everything settled. We're already back in the lobby. The ban and protect phase has started. So we'll go right into the game to see what they wind up banning out first. You saw in that last one, some focus on the tacticals. Also, the smoke grenade getting banned out.
Surprised to see that they didn't actually go after the EMP grenade.
Yeah?
That would make the hardened sentry, the Guardian, a lot more useful. But the counter UAV going by examples, there goes overdrive. So far, things we expected to see. Maybe you see like a hardened sentry ban as well.
Yep.
Wouldn't really expect to see a Guardian use an uplink. I mean, sure, it could be useful, but you know, being able to wall run above it could really negate the effectiveness of it. You
got to expect rapid fire as well in this one.
Yeah,
there goes Machilla. You know, he's someone who doesn't want to have to deal with that one on the opponent's weapons, wants to play the game he's more comfortable with. And to finish things out, it's Ego and Mac. There goes the concussion. Always popular to follow up on the flashbang. And will they go again with the smoke screen ban? Ego. All up to him to make this last decision. Definitely won't be a protect. I remember one of the first mistakes I did was protect something in the ban and protect phase, and everyone made fun of me for it, like my first game, because it makes no sense. But kinetic armor getting taken off the board.
3 abilities.
So 3 abilities, yeah. It's something we've actually seen more and more as of late in uplink, because obviously camo, it's one of those that can give you the opportunity to score even when you're by yourself, because that aim assist goes away. The camo very strong in this game. Really the only way you can see it's there is if you have darn good eyes, or if you hear it using your headset. Overdrive, so good at kind of making the most out of a poor situation. You pop that overdrive, rush the drone right in, and then heat wave as well. Just very, very strong when going in for that dunk off the start. Psychosis being picked up by examples, and then Vision Pulse coming from Believe. It looked like that one surprised you. What's your thought process there on a map like this?
I mean, I definitely think you're going to see a 2-2 split in terms of weapons and abilities on a map like this, especially when Camo, Overdrive, and Kinetic are no longer in the game.
Okay.
I definitely would have expected, you know, maybe like a Psychosis and Heat Wave as the 2 abilities, but Vision Pulse, that could certainly be useful. You know, you're pushing the drone towards the enemy base. You're looking to see where those defenders are. Just pop that Vision Pulse and gain instant information on where those guys are located.
Oh, for sure. And then you can see the Kinetic Armor. They don't want to have to deal with that one this time around. Believe was doing a great job with it, I believe, last game, as he was one of the leaders on his team in the submachine gun department. So there's a look at the ban and protect phase. Now, Infection uplink, Revan. On a map like this, what are you really expecting to see setup-wise? What breakdown are you looking for between these two squads?
I mean, in terms of like weapon breakdowns, you're going to see 3 assault rifles on each team, 1 sub.
Yeah.
Maybe you might even see all 4 go for the assault rifles. So it's obviously a map tailored towards those long-range engagements. For the most part, you're going to see players, when you're pushing over towards that 2-story building, try to get that spawn trap going on the snow street.
Yeah.
When you're on the flip side, you're going to push in towards the graveyard and try to set up those 1-point tosses, or maybe going for a dunk.
Well, it's mentioned a lot how a map like this, while it's not fully symmetrical, it plays very symmetrical, where you have to get on either side, get control of your front tank, then you wind up pushing for that broken area near the barn side or that green hallway. You want to make sure you get control of their tank if you're playing on the aggressive, and then keep them spawning.
That's really the key thing.
Yeah, keep them spawning on the snow street side. You want to make sure that that's where they get trapped at, so you can rally those points in as often as possible. Infection, one that a lot of times of all the uplinks, one of the ones that's a little bit more low scoring, if I'm being entirely honest, unless one team dominates.
Infection comes down to those 1-point tosses a good amount of the time.
Exactly.
And so many times throughout the CWL, you know, you see players botching those 1-point tosses. Yep. So hopefully, you know, these guys have been putting in work. I mean, maybe not on the Velocity squad because they really haven't been practicing much, but on the Cyborg Gaming squad, like if you're looking to kind of steal a game mode away from a team, being practiced in those 1-point throws is an easy way to win an uplink.
Oh, for sure. And when you look at a map like Infection, right, you mentioned how important those 1-point tosses are.
Yeah.
When you think of, say, Fringe or something along the lines of Breach, you can have a player who grabs a drone, you know, he pushes up like 5 feet, and already he's in throwing range. On Infection, it's one, as you mentioned, all about control. You need to make sure that if you're going to try to go for that objective, you get a couple kills in your favor, you get some map presence before you pick up that objective, because you can't just get it, throw it. You need to make some plays. You need to hit some tough shots, whether it's over church or over the top house area. The map is beginning to get set up. Infection uplink, Revan. Between these two teams, from what we saw in map 1, you think this is one that stays a little bit more low scoring or kind of goes all the way?
I think it's either going to be a blowout or a close game. Okay. I mean, I think if Cyborg Gaming have practiced this map, if they're able to kind of, you know, play with that drone, and, you know, you don't necessarily have to be, you know, very good in terms of slaying here. If you're able to just run the drone and take advantage of the rotations from Velocity, you could definitely find a way to come into the game. But I think the breakout is going to determine a lot for me. If Velocity get like all 4 down, then I think they're just going to run through this map.
Revan, I like that answer. It's either going to be a blowout or a close game. There's really not going to be too much of an in-between. You covered all your ground there. The map has loaded up. Infection uplink. To get things started, we're watching Mochilla again. This time around, though, he's got that AR.
Yeah, Mochillo player I really want to spectate throughout the majority of this game just because he's always been an assault rifle player, and this is a map for those ARs. So let's see what he can do off the break. Dodge on it as he sets up over near the B stairs. He's going to have some players that get past as he gets some help from examples. Turns around, does get taken down. So off the start, both teams just trading kills, fighting for mid-map control.
And you can see examples doing all he can right now as he waits for his teammate to come off spawn. This middle steps area right outside B building is just so lethal. The sandbags as well as the kind of the railing there gives you such perfect cover. Really only your head is shown. Two players now beginning to push in on Kizzle. Does all he can to stay alive, and you can already see the difference in weapon presence on this map, Revan. What map 1 was really all about the subs is now a 3-1 AR setup for Velocity as they begin to push forward for their first opportunity of scoring in the game.
Example has a chance for a 1-point shot.
Nicely
and he's going to
done.
be able to sink it. Good execution by Examples right there, and I guess that really answered my question. It seems like Velocity, they got some of their tosses down, but you saw as soon as Cyborg, they lost control of their tank, that led to a scoring opportunity for Velocity. They were able to capitalize on that as now Ego trying to maintain this mid-map presence. Solid shots from Ego as he takes down Believe from range there, but Cyborg, they are going to be able to answer back and contest for middle map here.
Kuda's no joke, man. It gets the job done. Mochilla at this front tank area. You'll see he'll be one of the players to put such a priority on this area of the map. He's the one with that AR expertise, but now Believe going for that push with the drone. And this is what I talked about, Revan. You can see he's trying to push up. He gets closer and closer.
Just no help from his teammates.
There's no opportunity to go for that long-range toss. It's not really a map like Fringe where you can launch it over that Grandma's building, or a map like Breach where you can, push it through wall run and then hit a shot over bottom lab. Off the start, though, it's Velocity really commanding map control, but as I say that, Mac just destroys Mochilla from range. Velocity doing all they can to protect their base, but it looks like the drone being pushed up by Believe.
Yeah, because Llama has a sub, he can't really position himself behind his tank. He's forced to back up, and you see Cyborg, they're starting to gain some map control up near the Velocity base. They're going to have to drop the drone here to try to maintain this slaying presence as they push through Grave. Believe he's going to get shot, but it's going to be a 1-point shot for Kizzle. Misses it. But they're going to be able to maintain this pressure. Believe now has a chance to trade the kill, takes down Mochilla. So this drone can still be scored by Cyborg. They just need to start working a bit quicker and execute on these kills.
Yeah, off the start, Cyborg doing all they can to keep control of Velocity's base, Revan, but hit the nail on the head right there. Need to move it a little bit quicker. They did a pretty decent job of getting some kills, but nothing to show for it as they are still down 1-0 in the beginning of this game. Leading the kills right now is Examples 8 and 4. He went pretty much off in map 1 alongside Llama, who is really dominating for this Velocity team. Right now, though, it looks like he's leading in the slaying department. He gets one and not able to pick up the 2-piece as Believe continues to push up and be that kind of lead blocker for his team.
Oh, man, you just need to toss his drone for yards. Heat wave coming into play there. Ego popping that, shuts down Mac, and now Velocity, they're going to go ahead and reset the drone because Ego is here. They're pushed up all the way near the Cyborg base. Llama there to try to get some kills off respawn. This is a good opportunity for Velocity. Let's see if they can capitalize on it.
Ego finds one kill. He's got no one even remotely near him for his team, so it's great that he's got
Too bad he doesn't have the drone.
On the map, but look right now, his teammates are nowhere to be found. Finally, a couple spawn up near barn. Ego rotating back. He got one kill, earns himself the HCXD. Now going to challenge a player top bedroom. He does fall, so first 3 minutes and 30 seconds of gameplay. Revan, this is one that's looking like it's going to be pretty low scoring.
Yeah, sometimes that's the story here on Infection, but Velocity, they're starting to turn things around. 3 go down for Cyborg. Shaham's the last one alive, but he's in a very good spot to keep this drone neutral. And it doesn't look like Velocity have any idea there. He's located near the spot, and Sam, if he's able to just pick up these kills, Velocity, they push forward for nothing, right? And there you go, 3 go down. Shahams can go ahead and pick up this drone, but he's in a gunfight right now. If he's able to win this, his team could try to push up and get some scoring on the board, but he gets shut down. Llama staying alive for Velocity as he gets a nasty 2-piece with that RK5.
RK5, man, it's one of the things that I really like so much about Black Ops 3. All the pistols are well used by really everybody. You got the L-Car, which was so dominant at the start of the game. Treyarch hit it with some nerfs because it was just a little bit too strong for its current state. RK5 came in, and then obviously the MR6, the weapon that has really been brought to light by the likes of Nagafen. Definitely expect to see it here this weekend as Velocity continue to hold off their base. It's looking like we're going to go into the half with Cyborg scoreless.
I mean, for the most part, it seems like every time I'm looking at the kill feed, I see Cyborg players dropping. Velocity, they're able to push forward. They're able to get position over near the Cyborg base. But when it comes to picking up that neutral drone, there's always that one guy for Cyborg just staying alive over near the B staircase and making sure they keep it neutral. But here comes Examples, a chance to make a play happen there, but he gets shut down almost immediately. And with 20 seconds remaining, it's going to be tough for either team to get a score here.
So obviously, Revan, you look right now in the slaying department, it's pretty even, right?
Yeah.
You might have Velocity up by a couple kills. Nothing too much to impact the map. What's going wrong for Cyborg right now? Why haven't they been able to really get a score in at the moment?
Well, I mean, the majority of the kills they're picking up is near their side of the map, right? For the most part, Velocity, they've had some good map presence. You know, they've had mid-map control. They've even been able to push up over near the Cyborg base and take control of both their tanks. The one thing where you see Velocity faltering is they're not really checking their corners. You know, they forget about holding down mid-map. One guy from Velocity is able, you know, you saw Shahams, you know, keeping it neutral for such a long time, and Velocity, it seems like they're just a little too focused on setting up the spawn trap as opposed to pushing the objective forward with your Slayers.
We'll see if they can change things up this time around. You need to see more coordinated pushes, is what Revan is saying. Mac has that scythe. This is one that, you know, we were talking a lot about. Typically, the scythe is earned right before side 2 starts. Revan, it seems like you and I are big fans of taking it out right off the bat, and it looks like that's exactly what's going to happen. Shahams picks up first blood for his team, I believe, with the Annihilator, and this is really an all-in push from Cyborg. They used 2 of their biggest specialists, and now they're trying to make the most of it. Believe first pushed up on the map. Mac going ham with that scythe, finds a second. Here he goes to challenge Examples, who clutches up with that mana board, gets 2 kills, but it might be enough for Kizzle to connect with the score, and there it is. Cyborg 1-1, but Revan, it took a lot of their specialists to make it happen.
I think that's worth it. That's going to put a lot of pressure onto Velocity to try to, you know, maybe force the issue here and get some scores on the board as Kizzle. We're watching him right now just trying to maintain control over middle map. And, you know, because they were able to use their specialists, they got a score on the board. Now they're here fighting for mid-map control. It's up to Velocity really to make a play happen. And there you go, 3 go down, Believe. Trying to stay alive for his team. All 4 go down. This is really the best opportunity for Velocity to get it done.
Heat Wave as well on Ego, not using it as of yet. Now you expect him to peek right around this church corner to ensure the score goes in. Now he pops it.
He got his teammate with it.
His teammate though, because that obviously in the recent patch that affects him. Mochilla finds 2, gets the 3rd, can't get the 4th as he missed 1 shot there, but Kizzle clears out his base. And Ego, you know, you've been doing so well with the Heat Wave this game. Unfortunately, that time around, might not have read the patch notes, as the Heat Wave now hits your teammates when friendly fire is on. You know, was such a strong specialist, still is, but one of the downsides to using it now is you need to pop it at the correct time. Right there, though, not paying off for Ego as Velocity can't get the points on the board.
However, from that push, Mochilla is able to earn some score streaks. So he's got the Lightning Strike, the HCSC. These are both score streaks that can be used on the offensive end. You know, they push forward, trying to take these players out of their defensive positions as Mochilla now under fire. Just trying to maintain control of Barn, but just mistimes that thrust. He gets taken down by the Semtex. Examples now trying to maintain control of middle map, and he picks up 2. Turning around for the 3rd. He's able to pick it up as Velocity now have another opportunity to push up and take control of the Cyborg base.
Okay, Examples now 23 and 13. He's positive 10. Continuing to push up with his team. They've got the drone carrier in Mochilla. Examples going to be the one to watch out for this back portal. Llama does kill his teammate, but that should be 4 dead momentarily.
Oh, go for the dunk.
I don't know what just happened with the drone. Examples gets it. This will be a dunk. Velocity finally score after not being able to put one in for the last, what, 5, 6
I think Team Killing Eagle there was the right call. He doesn't have a chance to mess things up again.
Love it as they make sure Ego isn't a threat to his own team. The Lightning does come down. Not going to connect with a kill, but it forces the opposing team to stay inside the buildings. That gives Ego an opportunity to push up on the map. And look at how sneaky he's playing right now.
Oh, he's definitely in a position to make a play happen.
I have no idea he's here. He's got 1 player in front of him. Does pick up the kill on Mac. Rotation coming in from Believe. He'll clear out his base. Cyborg with only 2 minutes remaining to try to stop themselves from getting a loss here in round 1.
Right, so if you're on the Velocity squad right now, the main thing you want to do is make sure you maintain control of your tank and just control of the map in general. If they're able to just set up and stop Cyborg from even touching the drone, they'll walk away here with a 2-0 win.
Examples was trying to do that, but Mac hit him with some pretty nice shots. The HG coming in from Llama will clear out that player. Ego doing such a fantastic job, Revan, of commanding this side of the map. I mean, he's been here the entire time. And look what he does. Woo. He clears out middle for his team. Velocity now on the full offensive side. He's about to earn himself Heat Wave. There it is.
All right, this is scary because he might Heat Wave his teammates here.
This might wind up being the game. Sees one player, holds off on the Heat Wave now, does get Heat Wave by the opponent. The drone does go in. Velocity, making it a 2-possession game, Revan, and that might be the difference maker as we come into the final minute of play.
Yeah, I mean, Eagle's just been doing such a good job at threatening over near this graveyard side of the map. And Cyborg, they're constantly having to worry about, you know, maintaining control near that part of the map. And, you know, because they're so worried about it, they can't push up middle map. They're forced to rotate back all the time.
And look at the scoreboard right now, Revan. Ego +6, Mochilla +6, Example still +10. They've completely blown open the floodgates on the slaying department.
Yeah.
And outside of the first score that Cyborg used a scythe and an Annihilator to get, they haven't even gotten, what, across middle map? Because they've done such a good job of holding down their base.
Yeah, Llama picks up a 3-piece. This is another opportunity to just nail in the game.
It looks like they're just electing to kind of play it a little bit more slowly. Now Mochilla finally gets the drone. Llama, another HC kill comes in. I feel like this whole game, Velocity have had streaks. Llama almost gets the 3-piece, but he does wind up falling. Now almost out of reach for Cyborg, as there's only 30 seconds remaining, and they need 2 dunks. Revan, I think this one's over. I think Ego and the boys get a round 1 win here on the main stage.
Yeah, and they're putting on a good showing here in round 1. I mean, Ego went positive both maps. That's always a good thing to see from Ego, but he's got some great support from his team. I mean, Llama goes huge in map 1. Examples follows up with a big game here, 28 and 18, and he's continuing to slay around. But the one thing that's been hurting Cyborg, man, is it seemed like they never had control of Graveyard on this side of the map, and we know how important controlling that is when you're on this side of Velocity. You could set up for those 1-point plays all day long. As there you have it, Velocity. They're going to win your first matchup here at UMG South Carolina.
Nicely done, 6-1 in map 2 to close it out. Stock on the Kuda being used by Ego gives them just that little bit more mobility in the gun engagements. From what we saw from Velocity, is that what you kind of expected? Do you think this team can still go forward through the open bracket?
Yeah, I think this is maybe like a favorable matchup for them, without a doubt.
Okay.
Really want to see how they match up against, maybe like a Team Liquid or a Cloud9. One of the teams we're going to be seeing here in the future. But I think those matches are definitely going to be tougher for the Velocity squad.
Absolutely. Well, there you can see the players shaking hands. Quality stuff, boys, for our match 1 to kick it off here at UMG South Carolina. But now